Here I come. Hello and welcome to The Way I See It. This is my video blog called Let's Be Frank. My name is Z, and if this is your first time, welcome. I hope that it won't be your last time. So this is just a video blog of mine, and as the title suggests, I'd like us to be frank. Let's be frank. Let's talk about things the way we should talk about it. For a while, South Africa has recently celebrated, just 2 days ago, 21 years of democratic freedom, 21 years of democracy. We have celebrated this fantastic and amazing goal which so many people have sacrificed for, so many people have died for, and it is an ideal that in my lifetime I have managed to see come true. In fact, as a young girl, I have here something I'd like to think of it as a promise or an ideal, you know. This is a small piece of paper, and despite, well, yes it is, but despite the many years that I have managed to travel overseas, come back, and I thank God for that blessing, I've held on to this for an opportune moment. And on the 27th of February, what I did on my other platforms, social media today, you have to be available everywhere, especially if you want people to see you and if you want your message sent across the world. And on the 27th of April this year, on our 21st year of democracy, I posted this little, with our amazing flag, the new South African flag, which is, I believe, the third most recognized flag in the world. This little flag I posted with this little piece of paper, and I'd like to read it for you. It's dated the 25th on Christmas Day, actually, if I look at it now, 1988, which makes this piece of paper 27 years old, but also makes this promise, this statement by this amazing woman true, an ideal that came true. She said, "Zahida, we shall govern and we shall be free." This from Mrs. Winnie Mandela. At the time, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, the wife at the time of Mr. Nelson Mandela. And I'd like to think that this promise that she made me is the promise that she kept, that all of us fought for an ideal which was absolutely amazing. Freedom to vote, freedom to say what we want to, free from labels, free from people labeling us who they want us to be. It's a new era, you know. There you go, new era, a label. I've just segued into that, and this is exactly where I want to go. I won't be long. I'm trying to keep my video short so that I can keep you interested instead of rambling. But basically it is about labels. It is about 21 years of democracy, which I'm extremely proud of. I'm a proud South African, but there's been lots of shameful acts of violence that has been happening in this country, none more so than the xenophobic violence against our fellow countrymen. And you know, I am very fortunate to have, over the last 10 years, worked side by side with what people call foreigners, and these are not just people from the rest of the African continent. And I'm talking about Burundi, the Congo, Eritrea. I'm also talking about Egypt. I'm talking about people from India, Mexico, and China, and they are foreigners because, you know, they don't belong here. But I've never in all my time, whether I interacted with them or spoke about them to other people, have ever referred to them as foreigners. They've just been my colleagues, or some of them my friends. And I consider myself an African. I am proudly South African, proudly African. And it's so unfortunate that when you speak to some people about this, they go, but you're not African, you must, you know, it's a label, because they think, you know, you have to be pitch black in order to be an African. And again, we get back to labels, and we get how people, you know, think you should be. And 21 years later, these labels hasn't changed. We're still polarized as a society. You still have your white, you still have your black, you still, you know, and the integration hasn't really begun. And speaking of labels and the new era, as I said, you'll notice here that, and the prejudice even against hair. You'll notice that I have this hat on. It's because it's quite winter outside, and apparently I don't have white hair. You know, apparently I have ethnic hair, according to the hairdresser. And as some of you may who have seen my previous videos, I have at one stage gone through the evolution of having very short hair, then extremely curly hair, and now I've tried something new. This is just the next in the evolution for me. And it is absolutely amazing how people react to people having straight hair or my hair being straighter. It makes me feel no different, maybe a little bit because, you know, I've got to keep doing the whole hair out of the eye thing. And so, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit more ladylike because, you know, I tend to be a bit of a tomboy. But having said that, you know, it's all about labels, and I wear this hat because I have ethnic hair and it just doesn't last in the mist. But I also wear other little hats, you know. I've recently gone to wearing a little bit of a black beret, and why it is French, ooh la la, it's a beret, comes from France. Many African women wear a beret, and so you'll get non-African people coming up to me and saying, why are you wearing that? You're not African. And I absolutely, the insanity of the statement it just boggles the mind. I hope to next week have a very bright red label on it. It has its own little label. It says EFF. And for some of you who might know what that stands for, no, not F off. It stands for the Economic Freedom Front, a voice that is becoming louder and louder against the dissent and in this wonderful democracy that we have. And I'm sure I'm going to get many comments about that as well. But be that as it may, as I said, this is going to be a very short video, and it's just hi, how you doing? Hopefully, you know, you won't fall into, if you're labeling anybody, if you are proudly wearing a label yourself, do so for whatever reason, but stay true to your belief. You know, for 21 years or for 27 years, this was something that I believed in. I believed Winnie Mandela, I believed the ANC, I believed Nelson Mandela, I believed in the ideal of a free and democratic South Africa. I hope you believe it too. I will not waver, but there are things that needs to be said. We need to be frank. So please join me on this journey. Let's be frank, but remember, everything I say is the way I say it. I hope you agree. If you don't agree, let's talk about it.